I saw the stat. It was like the highest paid WNBA player makes less than Curry makes in the time he takes a
Welcome to the third episode of 5280 Real Talk. I'm Gavin Thunberg.
I'm Avi Cohn.
And I'm Milan Shenagel.
Today we have some very interesting topics to talk about, so let's get right into it.
Alright, so this episode's trivia question. Who has the most goals so far in the NHL this year? Your options are Mikko Rantanen, Connor McDavid, Alex Ovechkin, and Austin Matthews. So stay tuned to the end of the episode to see if you get it right.
Alright, to give you guys a quick rundown of what's happened this week in sports, we have Jamal Murray's injury. What does his future look like? What does the Denver Nuggets' future look like?
We had 2 no-hitters this week. We had the White Sox throw a no-hitter. That was Carlos Rodon. And Joe Musgrove throw the first no-hitter in Padres history.
And then on to some more baseball changes. We had some minor league changes. One, when you take your starting pitcher out now, your designated hitter will also come out, so you'll just have 8 guys in the batting order. And then the other is they're moving the mound a foot back, so this could give batters a little bit extra time to decide to swing or not. And they're doing this in the minor league first just to try it out, and then they might implement it in the majors.
For our next quick rundown, we have LaMarcus Aldridge's sudden retirement, due to a heart problem, an irregular heartbeat. So what does the future look like, whether our NBA player is going to be getting tested for heart problems, etc.?
We also had another person retire. That was Julian Edelman after arguably a Hall of Fame career. And, yeah.
Lastly, we had Sammy Reyes. He's of Chilean descent, and he played basketball at Tulane. He signed with the Washington football team after having a 4.64 40-yard dash at the combine and 31 bench reps, which was, that's crazy. And he's a tight end, so, yeah.
All right, now we're going to move into our bold takes for the week. My bold take is that the Jamal Murray injury will not prevent the Nuggets from losing in the playoffs unless they play the Lakers or in the finals.
Okay, Elon, I think that Michael Porter Jr. is coming into his own as a player right now, and obviously Jokic is insane, but when, Monte Morris, he's good, but he's a very good backup, but he's not a starting point guard. Monte Morris and Facu Campazzo, no, they're not filling Jamal Murray's role.
To touch on that, there's no set third option, which is going to be a huge problem for the Nuggets. Now teams really can focus on Michael Porter Jr. instead of having to focus on Jamal Murray and Jokic.
Did it really look like that last night against the Heat where Michael Porter...
All right, this is not the playoffs either.
I understand, but not only did Jokic and Michael Porter Jr. both play great games, but they had an amazing surrounding cast.
Okay, agreed, but it was also the first game without Jamal Murray, and it was almost like, all right, we got to show the rest of the world that we're not terrible.
And it was also against a Heat team that is on the verge of not being in the playoffs, who is very motivated to win right now.
All right, fine. Then again, look at Jamal Murray last year in the playoffs. Where would the Nuggets be if Jamal Murray was not on the court? They would literally have a first-round exit, 4-1.
I wouldn't say this if the injury happened 1 week before the playoffs, but they're going to have time as a team to figure it out. But last night, P.J. Dozier had an amazing game offensively and defensively.
Okay, but P.J. Dozier, he had 15, and JaMychal Green had 17. That is just not going to happen.
No, there's going to have to be different guys to step up.
And
it's not always going to be the same guys.
Aside from the Nuggets not being, losing their second-best player, arguably, probably their second-best player, let's not forget that the whole West is so stacked, and even if Jamal Murray was on the court, it would still be are they going to lose in the first round, or are they going to make the finals? It's that type of year. Every team can make the finals in the West, besides the 8th seed.
I think the Nuggets are ready for this challenge, and I think they're going to have players. It's not ever going to be the same player stepping up. I'm not expecting P.J. Dozier to drop 15 a game. I'm not expecting JaMychal Green to drop 17 a game. But, one game it's going to be P.J. Dozier. One game it's going to be Monte Morris. One game it could be Facu.
Okay, but what happens if one game it's no one?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they might lose a couple games because of that, but I don't think it'll be enough for them to lose a whole series.
And what happens to...
Unless it's the Lakers.
So now the Nuggets have very, very low... very, very little scoring off the bench.
Yeah. They just signed Austin Rivers. That should help.
Austin Rivers is a free agent for a reason.
Yeah. Austin Rivers has shown that he can provide scoring.
Okay, but also you can't go in. You can't.
He'll score 20 and then he'll score 0.
Also,
I agree,
Elon,
that's-
you can't.
That's
go,
not what you. And
need to
he's
play-
barely. I don't think he's gonna get
You
much minutes.
can't go into playoff games relying on Jokic and Porter to do the majority of the scoring,
And a
then
brand
you-
new player.
Yeah, and then you just have let's see who's gonna step up tonight.
What did the Nuggets do last year with Jokic and Murray? Who else did they rely on to score?
Jeremy Grant stepped up a couple times.
Yeah, he stepped up, so that's gonna happen. Did anyone
All right.
expect? Jeremy-
Porter was starting to get to him.
Porter was
who
not
he is.
great last year in the playoffs.
He wasn't
good.
awful. It was
Yeah,
also
he
like
hit
his
some big
first
shots.
month back from injury.
Exactly, and now he's developed so he can be that second option, just like Murray was to Jokic.
But then we lost our original second option.
Yeah, and I think the Nuggets will be able to fill that in.
There's no doubt that the
Yeah.
Nuggets are still a great team, but they're not going to the finals.
Let's not forget about the addition of Aaron Gordon.
Aaron Gordon's not a scorer.
I never said he was. He could just play defense.
Yeah.
but he needs to score points.
And he can score points. He's not going to give you 20 a night. He'll give you 12 a night, though. That's going to help.
I just think it's kind of dicey.
Yeah, it's just
What's
like
that?
even with Murray, I just didn't see the Nuggets going that far this year. Personally, because
They might not even go far. If they play the Lakers in the first round, I'm going to have them losing in the first round. I think wherever they match up with the Lakers, that's where they're going to lose.
Why the Lakers? Why not the Clippers? Why not?
Because the Lakers know how to win. The Clippers have never made
Kawhi knows how to win.
Yeah. Had this Paul George?
He was a winner in Indiana. He had one bad year. You can't count that against
I
him.
wouldn't say Paul George is a
He-
winner.
He went up against LeBron. He battled LeBron
That is
very
fair.
well.
He did play.
They
against,
choked a 3-1 lead last year.
I understand, but
And that was Jokic killing them, not Murray. Murray killed the Jazz. Murray definitely... I'm not saying they would have won that series without Murray, but...
Murray went off against the Clippers also.
No, he didn't. He didn't go off against the Clippers. He played, like, above average basketball,
exactly above average basketball.
but I think Porter will do that this year.
All right.
I think that's also a lot to put on Porter's shoulders. After
as a
he's
second-year player,
also after he's
He's not a
just
second-year
broken
player.
out.
he pretty much
True.
is. He pretty much is a second-year
He
player.
literally didn't play.
He's played less than he's played less than a full year probably, or
Yeah.
he's played like a year and like 20 games.
I think Porter can definitely fill in the scoring that Murray missed, along with some other bench players.
I also think. All right, sure. All right, well, I got a bold take for you guys. You know, we talked about Semis Reyes in the quick rundown. Well, this is very bold, but I think that he could end up as a top 10 tight end.
Okay,
Let me elaborate on that real quickly. He's 6'7", 240 pounds. He ran a 4.6, and he had 31 bench reps of 225
Okay,
pounds.
I understand that he is exciting and he is a freak of nature. I do not deny that. That's insane that he's 6'7", 240, and he ran a 4.6. But in the NFL, there are 7 rounds of the draft. It is impossible to decipher who is going to be a good player and who is not.
It's not impossible.
It's
You're
impossible.
picking a player who has never played football in his life.
Tom Brady was
ready?
pick 199.
Ready? Antonio Gates was a basketball player.
He was.
Yeah.
He also played football.
But he was primarily a basketball
That
player.
doesn't mean he never picked up a football in his life.
I'm sure this guy has thrown a football. He has good hands if you watch the...
I did, but
Showcase.
he's not like.
Yeah.
It's way too early to even make that.
And same with Tony Gonzalez. Tony Gonzalez played basketball, but he also played football. He was a 2-sport athlete.
All right. I understand this is very, very bold and very...
In top 10 ever?
Ever.
I say at tight end, I think he has the potential to do it.
I would be shocked if he were a top 10 in the league. No, top 10, top 5 in the league when he's playing.
I mean, honestly,
I don't know.
I'm rooting
The
for
good
the guy.
tight end-
I think it'd be a great story.
I agree.
I just don't think it's going to happen, though.
I think it's very, very bold, and there's a very good chance it doesn't happen. But I think that he has the talent to do it.
He has the measure.
He has the features to do it.
Yeah, a lot of players do.
Okay,
I
but
think
Tom
a guy
Brady
that-
didn't have the
I
features.
think a guy that you point.
Okay, well,
I think a guy that you point as
Tom
you draft
Brady's different breed.
that really could be a top 10 tight end is Kyle Pitts out of Florida. Kyle Pitts ran a 4.4 as a tight end. He's too big for cornerbacks. He's too fast for linebackers. I think if you're going to pick a guy that's going to be top 10 out of this draft, it's got to be him.
I know. I just think Semis Reyes is like very unique, and I
Yeah.
think he's a surprising topic right now.
Okay, well, my bold take for you guys is that the Golden State Warriors, hot right now, Stephen Curry's performances, they are going to the conference finals this year.
I agree.
No way.
I
No
agree.
way.
Yeah.
Yes.
No way.
Yes.
You're picking the Warriors.
The Golden State.
You guys just shamed me for picking the Nuggets to be anyone except for the Lakers, and you're picking a team that has one player, and if that one player has a bad game, it's over. They're the worst team in the league.
That's
without that
why
one
it's a
player.
7-game series. And Steph Curry shot 68% from three.
I don't care.
He's consistent. He's not going to have 4 bad games.
Yeah.
He'll have 4 good games and 3 bad games.
Yeah, but they're not going to win.
That's a series win right there.
100%.
They're not going to win.
Easy.
They're not going to win
It's so
all of his good games.
You're a psychopath.
If they won all of his good games, you're calling me a psycho for thinking that the Warriors, the current 10 seed in the West.
Let me just tell you something real quickly. The Lakers, one of them is going to get hurt again because they're going to come back too quick from their injury. Out. Nuggets are not very good. They're good, but they're not the same. They just killed the Nuggets. All right?
Killed them? They beat them by 9 points.
They scored like 10 points in the last minute, and that's why Jamal Murray tore his ACL.
Okay.
All right? They dominated pretty much.
The Warriors did not dominate. They had a good
The fourth
quarter.
And third quarter. And fourth quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think you could point at one win.
Curry is scoring 48 points, 53 points. He's not even playing. He's playing like, 29 minutes a game right now because he's...
You really think they're the one player? I think Curry is great. He's going to go down.
Did you see him in
Hall of
college?
Fame.
Okay, I have an example.
College is not the NBA.
But I'm saying he was one player.
I
Was
have
he
an
playing
example
against
for you.
LeBron and Anthony Davis in college?
Actually, I have an example for you. In 2011, the NBA Finals winner, the Dallas Mavericks, had Dirk Nowitzki and basically no one else. They beat listen to me. They beat LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris
They had
Bosh.
plenty of other players.
LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh on the same team lose to Dirk Nowitzki.
Also, you act like they have no other players. They have other players. Andrew Wiggins is decent.
They're the worst team in the league.
Kelly
Kelly
Oubre is a good defender. He's a good defender.
Did you see them last year? They are the worst team in the league without Curry.
Yes, last year.
Yeah, who did they add? Oubre.
And Oubre.
And players got better.
Players get better.
And Draymond Green is coming into his own. He had a triple-double last night.
Oh my
He's starting to get
goodness.
better as the
That is
season goes on.
ridiculous. It is so ridiculous that you guys are confident that they might not even make the playoffs.
No, they're for sure.
They might. I think they will, but they might not even make the playoffs. If they will, they will likely have to win 2 playing games to just get into the playoffs. Where they will have to play the 1 seed Jazz.
The Jazz are
and then most likely play the winner of the Nuggets and the Lakers, and then play the Clippers.
Nuggets.
Okay, the Lakers.
with
it's
potentially
Stephen Curry.
And it's LeBron James.
Yeah, but Stephen Curry is an MVP. Okay, let's think about this.
You're telling me Steph Curry is better than LeBron?
I'm saying no, but I'm saying Steph Curry is the MVP of this year. If it was truly most valuable player, Steph Curry.
He may not be the best player in the league, but most valuable to his team.
Think about it.
Without a doubt.
Okay, they lose by 53 to Toronto without him, and then they win by 38.
What are the Nuggets without? Oh, they beat the Thunder. Relax.
By 38.
Yeah, by 38.
Okay,
and they lost to Toronto, a terrible team.
Okay, what are the Nuggets
by 50?
What are the Nuggets without Jokic?
Yeah, I agree.
But
they're not the same.
But
they're not losing by 50.
Simmons.
They're not losing by 58 points without Jokic. They're not losing by 58 points without Jokic. Steph Curry literally made up for.
That's why I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. They have no one on the rest of their team. You can't bank on one player to carry you through an entire playoff.
You totally can't.
No,
It's a Cinderella story.
Oh my goodness!
100%.
It's not March Madness.
It happens.
It happens.
Look at
You
Isaiah
guys
Thomas.
Are absolute. They might not even. You guys are picking a team. They might not
look at Isaiah Thomas on
Celtics.
On the Celtics.
What about him?
That team. Okay, they were not supposed to go as far as they did, and almost beat LeBron.
Did they not have Jason Tatum on that team?
No.
He was not on that team. That was before
It was
Tatum.
Jay Crowder, and
Avery
Bradley. That team.
Jason
was
Tatum
not
was
good
not
on
on
paper.
that team.
Either way, you can't pick a team that they're.
Who's better? Who do you think's better? Isaiah
They're
Thomas
not-
or Steph Curry?
They're not even over 500.
Yeah, because Steph Curry's been out a couple games.
No,
it's not It's not the playoffs where it's like win or go home.
They're 9th right
Yeah,
now.
and you don't think other teams come in with that mentality?
Yeah, of course other teams have come in with that mentality. But when it's the number 1 seed Jazz, oh, we're incredible, coming against the 9 seed Warriors, it's easy win for us. And then
No, they're not gonna say that. The Jazz.
All we have to do is guard Curry. It's not that easy. Have you seen him play? He runs around the court.
And it's
He
not
probably
even
runs 15 miles a game.
You have to
I
pick him
don't.
up
Curry
beyond
can drop
half court.
70 a game in the playoffs, and they still won't make the conference finals.
70. Okay.
70.
I think the rest of his teammates would score more than 10 points, Elon.
I agree, but you guys are ridiculous thinking that the 10 seed. They're
actually 9th. They're 9th. They're 9th.
Oh my bad, they're 9th by 1 game. Half a game.
Actually, it is. They're tied with Spurs. Right
Okay,
now.
they're tied with the Spurs. once again, they might not.
And how do the Spurs look right now?
Horrible.
They're garbage.
They're
I don't think
so
this-
bad.
I never said they're gonna lose to the Spurs.
They're bums. Elon, you're terrible.
When did I say they were gonna lose to the Spurs?
The Spurs suck.
No, you never said they're gonna lose to the Spurs, but you're like, oh, they're not even gonna make the
I
playoffs.
never said they're not gonna make the playoffs.
If they make the playoffs, they have to win. They have to win 2 playing games.
You guys are so dumb.
You are so dumb.
You guys are you. Think about this. Avi was the one that made this quote unquote bold take, and you guys are treating it like I'm the one that made the
I
bold
don't even
take.
think it's a bold take. I think it's facts at this point.
I think we've proven this point so well.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You're being so dumb, Elon. Okay. Alright. That'll wrap it up.
Yeah,
for
that'll
us.
wrap it up for bold takes. And here are our top 5 plays of the week. So at number 5, we have Donovan Mitchell. Shake and bake from Mitchell, and a splash 3, and Ish Smith just runs straight into the screen. What a play from Donovan Mitchell. Number 4, Ty Jerome, shot clock running down. Jerome from just in front of half court. It's good! Oh my goodness, Ty Jerome. What a play. And here, as the replay, Jerome dribbles back, and he just throws up a prayer, an absolute prayer at the end of the shot clock, and it goes in. At number 3, we have Terrence Davis. He's dribbling. He gets the pass. Davis drives in. Oh my goodness, what a poster! Davis, yammed on. Absolutely yammed on. Davis is just going crazy. What a play. What a play from Terrence Davis there. Absolutely postered a guy. Crazy play right there. Okay, and now number 2, Charlotte Hornets, my man, Miles Bridges, and oh my goodness, and as Eric Collins would say, home diddly dee. What a play from Miles Bridges there. Absolute poster. And LaMelo Ball, as you can see, going crazy. Number 1, off the inbound, last play of the game, Luka Doncic. We all know he's going to get the ball. Doncic, trying to free himself up, catches it, dribbles between 2 guys, throws him a prayer. It's good! Luka Doncic with the game winner. And that will wrap up our top 5 plays of the episode.
For our blooper this week, we got Bianca Andreescu going for the easy slam and doinked it. Completely doinked it. I mean, I'm pretty sure she won a grand slam not too long ago. If you look at it again, easy volley and doink. Alright, later in the match, she going for a redemption and she just doinked it again. Completely doinked it. That'll wrap it up for our blooper this week.
Thank you, Gavin, for the funny moment. Now let's move on to the future in sports. Let's talk about Jamal Murray and his injury. In my bold take, we already talked about how we thought they were going to do in this year, the Nuggets. But how is it going to affect Murray as a player?
I think that Murray relies a lot on his explosiveness, getting to the rack, step-back jumpers, turnaround fadeaways that require a lot of knee bend and jumping and acrobatic plays. And I think that having an ACL injury that looked identical to Derrick Rose almost, it's the same type of play where you're jumping, and in midair you're like, ooh, my knee, right?
It was kind of on a step. It wasn't a jump.
Okay, but in midair is when he noticed that he got hurt, right? I think that he's in a little bit of trouble. I'm not going to lie. I think he's going to be timid when he comes back, and I think that the first month of his return needs to be, honestly, some of the best playing he's ever going to have.
Well,
he's the best playing he's had in his career.
I think that it's going to be rough for him for when he first comes back, but Jamal Murray's a very young player, and I think
Derrick Rose is very young, too.
I agree, but I think Jamal Murray over time will be able to overcome this, and I don't think it's going to come like that. That's just not going to happen. Even after a year of rehab, it's just not going to come.
The reason why you can't compare Jamal Murray and Derrick Rose for me is because we have come a long way from Derrick Rose with medicine and healing. Derrick Rose was 10 years ago?
I'm sure Jamal Murray can just take a couple Advils before every game, and he'll be fine.
We've seen a couple players come back from. Most notable, Zach LaVine. He was one of the most explosive players.
And now he's gotten so much better.
Yeah, I know, but
he's the peak of his career.
An ACL surgery is risky and it's not always done right.
I agree.
But I think one thing that Murray has going for him is I never really thought he was a true point guard. I thought he was a shooting guard, and the Nuggets were just turning him into a point guard. And I think that he can turn into a wing shooter.
There's also Chris Stapps, who tore his ACL, and he's back and playing pretty good basketball. He's
Yeah.
also a center, but I think Zach LaVine is the most. I think
Yeah.
when you look at a player like Zach LaVine, it gives hope for Murray's
I
future
agree.
because
And not only is Levine back, like he's averaging.
He's better
He's
than
like
him.
averaging. I think it's over 25 points per game this year. I mean, that's crazy.
he's an all-star.
He's an all-star. I mean, I don't think anyone expected that from Zach Levine. So, I mean, I hope he gets better, but I think he will. I just certainly don't think it's going to come just right when he gets back to the
Yeah.
league.
All right, on to our next topic on future in sports. Is Julian Edelman a Hall of Famer?
100%.
100%.
I think yes, and I think that one, he has the numbers. He's second in playoff receptions and yards to only Jerry Rice, and you could make the argument that he played with a quarterback like Brady, and Brady definitely found him, and I don't think he would have the career that he did without Brady. But I think that Edelman didn't have like the physical going for him. He's not like Megatron, he's not 6'5".
Yeah.
He's not like a DK Metcalf.
I think people can argue for he's not a Hall of Famer because he doesn't have the 6'5" frame, jump out of the gym, mossing everyone. But I think that the fact that he doesn't have that frame really makes him even more of a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
The fact that he can have 3 Super Bowls, 1 Super Bowl MVP, he probably, he had like 13 receptions in that game where he was Super Bowl MVP. I think that alone puts him ahead of 6'4" frames.
I also think the Super Bowl MVP sticks out to me more than the Super Bowl because the Super Bowls he played for the Patriots. But when you win a Super Bowl MVP and Tom Brady's on your team and he doesn't get it, I mean that's pretty impressive.
That's like someone not winning it when LeBron wins.
Yeah.
Or when Jordan wins.
That's like when Steve Nash won back-to-back MVPs and like Kobe definitely should have won those MVPs. Like it's kind of like that.
Here's the thing with Edelman. He should definitely be in the conversation for Hall of Fame, undoubtedly. That should be 100%. But the thing with Edelman is he played with the greatest quarterback of all time. I know you mentioned this. He was the number 1 receiver for that team, but he
Not
never.
for all.
But
most
then
of the
again,
teams.
he was not being guarded by the other team's best cornerback for a lot of that time because of Gronk.
Yeah.
And because of...
Oh, true. They did have Gronk.
Yeah, the number 1 cornerback
Exactly,
is guarding
but-
Gronk.
Yeah, the number 1 cornerback, which
Therefore,
should have left him open.
I'm saying that gives you, for your
Yeah.
argument, that helps you.
I do think he's a Hall of Famer, but it's iffy for me because I think when you're playing with the greatest quarterback of all time, you should be putting up best receiver in the NFL stats, or maybe not best, but at least top 5.
Yeah.
Maybe there was a season or 2 where he was there, but
I mean, I agree, but he's also not a big play receiver. Like, take the 2007 Patriots when Randy Moss went there. That gave Tom Brady a chance to throw to a big play guy. Randy Moss, probably, arguably, like, known for big plays.
You don't have to be a big play guy, though, to showcase your stats. Like Michael Thomas last year, he
just runs slants.
Yeah, slant boy.
yeah, he was still able to get the receptions record.
Yeah.
So, I think that there's definitely
Exactly,
arguments
the
going-
receptions record. That means you're getting a lot of
Yeah, but he also
catches.
got a ton of yards.
Yeah.
And I think that that's going against him, and I'm not sure if he will be a Hall of Famer. I think he will, but I wouldn't be too upset about it if he weren't.
And another thing that can for sure go on your side of the argument, I'm mixed as well. I think that, I wouldn't be mad either way, but I think the fact that he had a pretty not great year last year without Brady. I understand that he was old, but he was never injured or anything. Like he was never at the end of it was kind of sudden that he retired, to be honest. And the fact that he
Well, it was because
had
the
a
Patriots
terrible
released him, probably.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but the fact that he had just a not great year with a decent quarterback. Cam Newton's not he's okay.
No, Cam Newton this year
he's
was
decent.
Not right now.
No. He
Not
threw
right
6
now.
touchdowns this year?
Well,
maybe
I'm
more.
saying that
Or
could be. I'm saying the fact that he only threw 6 touchdowns could be on his on.
Yeah, the
Edelman's
receivers
fault
weren't
as
great.
their number
But
1 option.
Cam Newton is not even an okay quarterback, I think, at this point in time.
Yeah.
Maybe he could turn into one this year, but last year
He cannot throw the ball. He throws such ducks.
Yeah, he's not a good quarterback.
And even with the fact that he had Bill Belichick coaching him,
Yeah.
come on. But I think Julian Edelman is a Hall of Famer. I wouldn't go as far as to say that he's first ballot, but I think he's a Hall of Famer.
Agreed.
All right, so on to baseball. There were some changes with the minor league rules this week. So one, as we already talked about earlier, when you take your starting pitcher out of the game now, your designated hitter comes out too, so you only have 8 batters in your lineup. And then the other changes, they're moving the pitcher's mound 1 foot back, which could give hitters some extra time to decide whether to swing. And they're trying these out in the minor leagues first, which is why they're just doing the minor leagues now, and then they might implement them in the MLB.
Yeah, so I commend the MLB for having the minor league try it out first.
Yeah.
However, I think the fact that they want to do that whole pitcher designated hitter thing is just like pointless. Like, why?
That's exactly.
It's
what I was
just
gonna
stupid.
say.
Like,
It's
why change the thing? Why change it?
I was gonna say. It doesn't bother me, but what's
Like,
the point?
what? Like,
Why?
why? Just
Why are they
do
doing
that?
this? Like,
it just makes no sense.
They were. I know the mound going 1 foot back is more because they want to give hitters a better.
And I was gonna say that I actually like that change, and I think they should do it in the MLB because it will give the game more action. And I am not a huge baseball fan. Like, I don't go and watch as many baseball games as I do football or basketball because the games are like there's like very few games that go above 5 runs.
Here's
like,
the thing
on each team. Like, it's not like it's not really that interesting. But I think if the players have that extra like millisecond or however many seconds it'll be to hit the ball and make their decision to hit the ball, I think it'll make the game so much more interesting and give it more action.
Here's the thing. I don't
Like
even know
the 3-point line did to the NBA.
Yeah.
I don't think this is really helping hitters. Here's why.
It's a new thing. It's different.
Well, first of all, they've been practicing from this area
That's
for a
true.
while. But contrary to that,
Everything's going to be like a change-up.
No, here's the thing. When pitchers throw off-speed pitches, there's going to be more movement, more time for the ball to move, and it's going to be harder for the hitters to. So maybe on a fastball it'll help them, but I think pitchers are going to start adapting and throwing sliders, curveballs.
True. I think.
But the reason why that could not be true is because the pitchers are also going to have to learn to throw farther, and it might not break until farther into the pitch.
Okay, I think that's very interesting. But with the lineup change thing, I do think it's pointless. Like, I really don't see why they would do this. But I think this helps teams. And to explain why, once you take your starting pitcher out and you have 8 guys in the lineup, that is 1 less at bat.
That also makes the game more interesting because there's better batters.
And
usually.
you have less time to get your best hitters back up at the plate to hit.
Yeah, that could make the game more interesting as well.
So
yeah, but I don't know. I just don't see a point. I know you, maybe as not a huge baseball fan, are inclined to like these because you want to see more offense, and that's the natural instinct of a person who's not.
Not even more offense, just more big plays.
Yeah. But I think I'm not a huge fan, but as not a huge fan myself, I do watch a good amount of baseball, not a whole lot. I don't love what they're doing with baseball. I think it's a classic game. I think it should stay the same. I really hate what they did with the extra innings and putting a guy on second to start the innings.
Yeah.
I don't like how they're trying to speed up the game.
Yeah.
At all.
No, I like how they try to speed the game
Well,
up.
I disagree
No.
because I think this was a couple years ago when the Dodgers won the World Series. In the World Series, there was like an 18-inning game or something. Like, I'm a baseball fan. I love seeing home runs and like walk-offs and great hits, but I also like watching pitchers pitch. Like, when you're watching a great pitcher just go to work.
That's the thing. If you're like focused on watching like one player and be like, look at this curveball, look at how insane this slider is, then it is interesting watching those pitchers.
But I think it's also like it's exciting to see, like, for example, the Dodgers, great batting order. If in the playoffs this year some pitcher were to just pick this Dodger batting order apart, I think that'd be very interesting to see. So I think that these rules, yes, I think they're a bit pointless and I don't really get them, but I think they could benefit the MLB or they could not.
The question is also, do these changes affect the record books at all?
No.
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think.
If we see a dramatic change in home runs hit, then
Yeah.
it does.
But not as much as like the 17th game in the NFL. Like, that clearly affects the records.
I just think that, to be honest, there shouldn't be many rule changes in baseball.
I just feel like in most sports there should be many
agree.
rule changes.
But mainly baseball.
But I think when there should be rule changes for any sport, it should not have to do with the game itself. It should have to do with something like the NBA draft lottery or something.
Yeah.
Like,
Or like
you shouldn't change things about the game itself that will A, affect the record books, will B, try to switch people's games up.
And I also think baseball, they're definitely trying to make it like more appealing to like the social media age. But like you said, baseball is a very classic game, and I think that if these changes are, and who knows, they may not even work out in the minors, and they may not even implement them to the majors. But I don't really want baseball to go further with this.
Yeah.
So.
I also hope they just take the extra innings rule away, because I love watching when there's 18 innings and you have to have position players.
So much suspense.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a shortstop is pitching.
And when there's already a guy on second, and I think after the 13th inning it's first and third. Like if a position player goes in, it's over.
Yeah, and I also I enjoy the idea, especially in the playoffs. Not as much in the regular season, but more so in the playoffs. Like managers, a huge proponent of baseball is managers managing their bullpen and their pitching staff, and I think this extra inning thing, it kind of takes the pressure off managers because you're not going to have as many pitchers pitching.
Yeah.
All right, that'll wrap it up for Future in Sports. Now for the trivia question answer you've all been waiting for. The question being, who has the most goals so far in the NHL this year? Your options once again were Mikko Rantanen, Connor McDavid, Alex Ovechkin, and Austin Matthews. And the answer was Austin Matthews with 32 goals this year, and Rantanen was second. So, there you guys go.
Well, that'll wrap it up for the third episode of 5280 Real Talk. I hope you enjoyed it, and we got another one coming out on Monday. Thank you.